Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Deja Vu here, and this is going to be the second set between STX Soul versus CJ Entis on NBC. The first game, it was a ZVZ between Effort and Hero, and Effort came out on top on Tornado. This next game is going to be on Moon Glaive between Frozean and Iris. Iris played really well last year, going, I believe, to the finals in GOM, and doing really well in the Pro League, and he and Sky High really looked very good for CJ, and made for a very strong Terran lineup, possibly the best in the league, probably even the best in the league, Iris and Sky High. I don't know if anyone can really beat that combination of two awesome Terrans. So they're definitely expecting big things again from him. He's kind of an older player, so there's always that fear that at some point the bottom may just fall out. He is 22, and if he doesn't perform, that will definitely put a big hole in the lineup. They've already their Zerg lineup already took a hit with the loss of Quanner, so you got Effort on top, and then I believe in the second spot we're gonna have Savior. But I've got to say, I don't know what Savior has left in the tank. He is going to be playing in the fourth set in this series. If it gets there, he's going to be playing in the fourth set against Cal. But I don't know if... I mean, I love Savior, but I have definitely lost a lot of my hope for Savior coming back. I just don't know if he has it anymore. For some reason, I have this feeling that I just don't think, and that this season the bottom's finally going to fall out, and he's going to be just about done, and... they're going to be looking for another Zerg, I think, to back up Effort at some point this season. And they're going to have to give up on the Savior project as it is right now. And we'll see whether... and really, if Savior falls off as well, I've really got to question whether CJ really has a Zerg lineup to continuously play really well and to place at the top of the league, just because it seems like so many teams are going to high Zerg lineups due to the maps that are out, so you really need quality Zerg players, and if really Effort is your only really quality Zerg player, that could pose a problem for CJ. But okay, on the other side of the map, we've got Frozean, aka Cute Angel, coming over. I always forget whether Frozean was on Samsung Kong or SKT1, whatever, it doesn't matter, but he came over, and to really help their Terran lineup and try and give them a little bit of juice after Washin'. Just because after Washington, I think they were playing Notice a lot, and occasionally, you know, Bogus would come in for a game or Last. I mean, I hope Tospital maybe came in for a game or two, but nothing was really there. And Frozean is a really boring, okay player. He's not creative. He's not particular. I don't think he's particularly entertaining to watch. Not a highly aggressive player by any sort of measure. But he's solid. He's okay. He makes it into Star Leagues on really a lot. He makes it into a lot of Star Leagues, and at least is decent in them, gets to either like the round of 16 or 32 pretty consistently, and then falls off. So he's not a terrible player. And for STX, you know, if he can turn out to be a decent player, if Washington can find his old form and be able to beat something other than a Zerg, which is his one matchup where he hasn't really lost it, I think STX can really have a strong Terran lineup as well, because their Zerg lineup and their Protest lineup are both pretty good, with the Zerg lineup of Calm, Hero, July, and on occasion Modesty as well, or maybe Modesty and then occasionally July. However you look at it, those four are pretty solid Zergs. And then for Protest, they really only have Cal, a couple other average players here and there. But it seems that with the maps, you really only need one good Protoss player anymore, just because there really aren't very many teams ever throwing out two Protosses in a lineup. Even like Samsung Con and SKT don't really throw out both two Protosses all that much, even though that they're really Protoss heavy, both teams. And if they're not comfortable throwing out two Protosses, I mean, pretty much no team is going to be. So I think STX Soul is really in a good position if Frozean comes through. I mean, Hero looked pretty good in the last set against Effort. He lost, but he did not lose badly. He looked good, unlike say Quanro from the last set that I did in for Woongjin Stars against SKT1. Quanro looked really bad against Hook, but I think Hero looked pretty good against Effort. He had a couple good ideas. If Effort just didn't have that great play of coming up with the secondary pincer move, I think Hero might have actually been able to do a lot of damage and maybe maybe even take that game. So definitely not going to take as long as if Hero's Mutilus Micro can get a little bit better, I think he'll make for a good Zerg player in the ZVZ matchup, which he can definitely focus on for STX, and that'd be great for that. We have huge opening interest, so I'm just trying to give you as many thoughts as I can. In the third game, we've got Calm versus Movie. Okay, actually, we're going to start on this one, so I'll wait for my thoughts on that until that game. This is going to be Frozean and Iris on Moonglaive, and this should be a lot of fun. Frozean, let's take a look at the stats now that we're starting here. Frozean is a 43% versus Terran, and we're going to see him first here in purple at the bottom left corner, and then at the 12 o'clock position in blue is the Berserker, Iris. Iris having a... Okay, Iris is 55% in everything, so just assume no matter what happens that he's always 55% because he's like clockwork. He'll beat you 55% of the time no matter what the matchup is, no matter what the map is. He's solid, he's consistent over the course of his career. So as long as he can keep that consistency, I think CJ will be quite happy with him. Now, like I said, Frozean is not the most entertaining player, but Iris can be. Iris can be a very, very entertaining player. He is the Berserker Terran. He's known for very aggressive play, highly aggressive play. He's got great vulture play. He's very fun to watch, even in TVT. He's very, very fun to watch, and he'll make it entertaining more often than not. So I'm kind of excited for this game, seeing Iris's aggressive Berserker style versus Frozean's kind of turtling. You know, he's almost like a bad version of Flash. He uses like the same type of strategies, but just not as good at it as Flash. So that's how I look at Frozean. He's just a poor man's Flash and not nearly as effective. So both players here going for the same openings, going for Refinery before Barracks, which is perfectly fine in a TVT, especially on I mean, I guess this is a 3-person map, but this isn't a very high cheese likelihood map. And I think in this map, the natural expansion actually has 2 exits to it. I guess it almost looks kind of like Sim Chapong Ryong, where you have that back entrance and you have to your base. It's kind of a different way to get there, but you've got to sort of go around and you can get to a back entrance to that natural expansion, as well as the normal front door. So it's kind of interesting that way. I would say that's probably the most unique feature of the map. And in a TVT, I suppose the most entertaining things that could come through there would be either probably would be Vulture sneaking in through the back and trying to wreak havoc on the SCV lines that are coming in the back there. But other than that, I don't expect that would probably be the most likely, and probably we will see it at some point in this TVT, as long as it's not like a 10-minute TVT where Frozean just like flops over to Iris's first push. That's what we'll be seeing. It looks like